I want to look at the difference between the blob brush tool and the paintbrush tool. And then we're going to explore just a little bit further watercolor brushes. But first, let's get the paintbrush and we'll make the stroke a little bit bigger. And all I want to do is just kind of color in a circular pattern. Just want to make a big area. There we go. Now the blob brush, we're going to do similar. I'm going to try to get it about the same size and somewhat similar shape. But when we look at these two tools, they're quite different in application. Let me show you. So the regular paintbrush tool just keeps adding to the stroke and it makes it look like a solid mass. Whereas the blob brush tool, as you paint around, it keeps adding to it and it ends up having just one outline around the outside. This is a great tool when you're trying to color something in or make a solid shape. So even though the two look alike, the one that's the most editable and easy to use is going to be the blob brush. You could edit pieces of this, whereas with this one, you're not really quite sure where to go to start editing something. So that's the difference in these two. The other thing that I wanted to show you was the watercolor brushes, and specifically for use on something like this where I have taken the pencil tool and just kind of hand sketched an outline of my grand dog Nate. That's how I like to refer to him. And this is a picture of him in the background. I've put it on its own layer and I've turned the transparency down to where it's not as vibrant as it would be so I can see the strokes. And what I really want to do is go behind this and use watercolors and paint him in. So the first thing that I would do is make sure that I have a layer and I want it underneath my stroke. So I'm going to drag this layer below. Lock that and lock these two as well. Make sure that I'm on this one. Now I need to get some of the colors that are in this originally. So I'm going to click on here and make that one of the swatch colors. We'll say Nate 1. And let's get a little bit darker one. Nate 2. And let's see if we can get just a little bit lighter. Nate 3. Now we have some colors to work with, and let's get some watercolors and start painting in behind him. First off, I'm going to turn this off and get my brush, and I want to get some watercolors. There's already some in here. I've been looking at them, so they're already in here. If they weren't, I would go to Libraries, Artistic, and Watercolors. And here I could find anything that I want. So let's take this one, What we want is stroke color, no fill, and we're going to get one of the light transparent brushes and start painting in around the outside. I can bump that up just a little bit. There we go. Come on down. And we're starting to get a little bit of color into this. Now I know that I want this center portion to be more light colored, so we'll go with this a much lighter color up in there, right up in his forehead color, and bring that forward. We'll go a little bit darker again. Let's try this color for a bit, just for a little variation. And now the darkest one. We could get a different brush just to get a little bit more color in it. There we go. I think we'll bump that up just a little bit more. And we could keep working this in, and eventually we can make this look like Nate originally did. And with a little bit of work, you could have that. Just keep working with it and finesse it, and you'll eventually get the results that you want.